Alright, so installing a exhaust fan in the new greenhouse. We're going to take this out. It goes up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a wood template of this. And this is where the exhaust fan is going to be. Now, on my other greenhouse, I put the exhaust fan a lot lower. So it's right there. But in the new greenhouse, it would have been better basically if I had mounted it up higher, because it would pull out the heat instead of like sucking out the lower air, which is a little bit cooler. But yeah, so on this one, we took that out of the top and we're going to basically make a template of this and then make ourselves an exhaust system. Alright, so I got this thin wood. It's gonna be good. Now this, look at it, like set it on the edge there, it overlaps just a hair on each side. Not much, but it won't matter because this is well beyond the actual metal. So basically I just made a template of it and we're going to cut it out and get it ready. I also got to cut out, this is the type of exhaust like window fan thing I used. I used in the other one. This is a different fan. This was sent to me. This is a Titan fan. I'll put this below. Now I don't usually use these fans, but this is what we're going to try out because I got it from the company. They sent it to me to try. So we're going to use that. We have the template made. I'm going to show you that real quick. So as you can see on the sides, this basically would just fit in right here. Boom. And then we'll put in the clips to hold it in place. And it should just hold it right where it should be. Now, to get that right, what we're going to do is cut the hole real quick for the fan. We'll mount the fan about right there. And so what will happen is this circle here is the correct diameter for that fan. So what I normally do is I'll just flip it over. I'll get it level, even, know exactly where I'm going to put it. Put it about right there. And then we'll go up under here and we'll make a circle around that. That's basically diameter. And we'll cut it out. Then we'll mount this on one side, fan on the other, slide it in, and we're good. There we go. Got our hole. We're just going to take a drill and drill into it and then basically cut it out with the freaking jigsaw. Alright, with super thin wood like that, you want to go really fast, but just kind of move it slow, but get that, like, the blade moving really fast. And basically, now we're done. So, that'll be able to move air, and then this will go on the other side. But now since we've done that, we got to cut this lip off right here. And I use a knife for that. That is time consuming and a pain in the butt, but we're going to get that done. Alright, so the hardest part of this, basically getting off this this lip. As you see, mine is kind of distorted. It doesn't really matter as long as you cut it out. So you want to get it as flat as you can. That way, if you just flip it over, as long as it's good, you can just spray some sealant around it, seal it up, and it'll be fine. So usually I run a bead of caulk all the way around it, and then it seals it right up. Alright, so we're almost ready. We've got to put some paint on that piece of wood and we'll be ready to go. Alright, so I decided we are just going to use what we have laying around. So I ended up finding these. They're a bit long, but we're going to use them anyway. There's a couple shorter ones. So we're going to use these. I drilled the holes. I had to get a little bit bigger of a bit because I kind of routed out the holes on the fan here so that they will, so it'll sit where it needs to sit. So we're going to get that hooked up, and then we are going to put the face on, and then that part will be done. Then all we have to do is wire the electrical side, which is easy. Right, so this is what we got now. I'm going to have to saw off these bolts, but so pretty much even with the little bit of clearance there. Is that top? Here it is. Once we put this on and bolt it in, so you want to make sure that you have your fan aimed the right way so the air is going to be pushing outward. And then basically I'm going to put this over it and we'll just about be done, at least with the building part. So, put the bolts in. How I line this up is basically if you flip it up and hold it in place, you want to just make sure that the fan is visible. And then there you go. Once you get everything set up, the fan is hooked up. That's kind of what it looks like. Definitely going to hack off these longer bolts. But yeah, just run the screws in. Doesn't matter if it's that they come through. It's thin. It's going to be up near the top. You're not going to really see it. You just want to make sure that your wiring is faced away from the sun. So normally we have a north facing coming up, so it would be the side over here is where the sun's going to rise and then fall. So I put the wiring on the other end over here. So that way we'll just run it down and we're good to go. So now let's give it a little test. I got a little battery here. Now this fan is not as strong as one of the other fans that I used before. I made the other exhaust video, which that fan to me seems to be a little bit more powerful, but let me show you what this one can do. Alright, so we got the fan system hooked up. We'll just hit this. You see the little guys lift there, and we are moving air. And it's moving a pretty good amount of air. I'm going to do a description of how I'm going to wire this, and if you're not into wiring, I'll do another video later kind of showing how I do everything. But this is just kind of to actually get this part working. Everything is already hooked in, so we're good to go. What we're going to do to control the fan, make sure it cuts on a certain temperature, cuts off at a certain temperature. There's many different ways you can do this. You could buy all kind of little contraptions to do it. We're going to do it easily and mechanically. So we have a battery here. Now normally what will happen is we'll have a small solar panel with a charge controller that charges this battery and keeps this battery charged. This battery is an isolator for the fan, so the fan doesn't get too much electricity. You don't really have to worry about it with 12 volts though. You could hook a solar panel directly to the fan. The problem with that is though, when the sun is out during the winter, you're going to be blowing out all your warm air. So you don't want to do that. So what we're going to do to make sure that doesn't happen is we're going to use this. This is a snap switch. They use these for a lot of different things. This is basically controls the fan via how hot or cold it is outside. So what will happen is this is set to close at 80. So what happens is you have this on your positive or negative side. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it's 12 volts. So basically what will happen is it's open, meaning there's no connection. And then when it hits 80 degrees, it will close and the fan will turn on. And so we'll just take this, basically mount it over here somewhere on the wood. And then when it gets 80 degrees at the top of the greenhouse, that will close, the fan will kick on, and we'll basically push out all of the heat that we don't want during the summer. And then when it gets below 80 at night, it will turn off. So pretty straightforward. That's how it works. My other exhaust fan is wired the exact same way. So if you want to see that, I'll put that below, and actually you can take a look at that. And that's pretty much it. It's not really that hard. We're going to use a smaller battery this time because of the big battery that I was using over here. These are kind of overkill for a project like this. So basically right now what I need is a small charge controller, tiny solar panel, and a battery like this, and then we can finish the project. But right now I just don't want to spend the money, and I have to replace the other battery. So that's the battery for the old greenhouse setup. But we're going to get this stuff wired up and then put it in. Alright, that looks much nicer than the other setup. It's really good. It just snaps in using these two things that basically are naturally there. So there you go. That's the GreenHouse exhaust fan installed. Looks good. And from the inside, there you go. Everything's kind of in one place. What I'll do is I'll probably put the battery stuff down here on this side, run it up along here, feed it over, and then kind of get it out of the way of the door. But there you go. So looks good. Everything fits really well, and the fan is kind of out of the way. I decided not to cut the stuff here because basically I can use this to wrap the excess wire around, feed it around, so not a big deal. But yeah, so that's it. And I got the snap switch kind of wired here, so you can kind of see just kind of up here, so out of the way. But if the sun hits it, I'll show you how this one over here is wired. Right now though, we have an issue. As you can see, the fan isn't running, mainly because our charge controller of however many years it's been in here is dead. You can see it's, well, maybe it's blinking. You see how hot it's gotten. This is kind of worn out, so I got to get another charge controller. They're only $8, so I'll buy one of those and get that fixed. But other than that, how this works is the solar comes in from outside, runs into the charge controller feeds down here, charges this battery, which definitely doesn't have any power right now because the fan isn't running. But also I have a separate setup here so I can run anything that basically uses 12-volt off cigarette lighters. Well, how this fan is wired is there's our snap switch. So basically sun hits it, power, so all the wires are kind of run behind here, but basically this gets hot, closes, fan turns on. And this fan, I will put this model below. So the other fan that I got, let's see how loose this is. The other fan I got is an Arctic Breeze fan. I think that's what it was. But this fan is a different fan. So this fan has been in here for I'll put it in the doobly-doo. It's been years though, and it's been running non-stop. It's gotten water on it. These are great fans. They're expensive though. The other fan, not as much, but definitely this can move more cubic foot of air. So I'll put that one below, or I'll link the other video below and you can check that one out. But yeah, so that's how it goes. Mounting it there was a really bad idea. I should have put it over the door right here where I put the other one. So eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace all these panels here because I have all new panels for this greenhouse. So I'm waiting for these to they got a couple more years in them. So we're just going to roll like it is, but I'm going to go ahead and get everything built so that whenever I do replace the panels, all this electrical stuff will stay here. I'll run the wires around, it will go up here, and the fan exhaust will be here just like that one. It's much cleaner, it looks better. I like it a whole lot better, so definitely amazing. All right, you guys take it easy. Peace.